Hello and welcome to Let's Talk HR with Dr. Deneen, the talk show that spotlights HR professionals and talks about all things HR. Today we are launching a new series called Careers That Rock. Oftentimes, HR professionals are instrumental in helping people find sustainable careers and finding their niche in the world of work. This series will highlight amazing professions and provide insight to those who may be interested in pursuing a career that rocks for them. I am delighted to introduce the first guest of the Careers That Rock series. She is none other than my friend, Stephanie Scurlock, anchor WREG Channel 3 News, and the career we will highlight today is broadcast journalism. Hello, Stephanie.
Hello, Dr. Deneen. I'm honored that you have me on the show, especially since this is a show about careers that rock. Because I'm honored that you think that being a broadcast journalist is a career that rocks.
Yes.
A lot of people out there, the media at times in the recent history has not been seen as one with, I guess, a lot of people respect and maybe question, is this fake news and that kind of thing? Well, I'm glad to see that you recognize that journalism, broadcast journalism, is still a career that rocks.
It does rock, and that's why she is here today. And I am so honored to have you here to talk about your career and to give the advice that you will give to those who may be interested. So let's get right into it. Let me tell you about you.
Okay.
So you are an Emmy award-winning anchor reporter for WREG TV, top-rated news anchor. You've been recognized by the Tennessee Associated Press. You've covered stories in the Mid-South and abroad. And you are known for your humanitarian heart in covering stories about poverty, crime, missions. What an accomplishment. I just want to publicly say I am so proud to be in your company, and I am so proud what a role model you are, including for me, a role model for me.
Well, thank you.
What made you decide to go into the profession of broadcast journalism?
Well, I guess when I went to college, I wanted to find something that I was passionate about, something that I liked to do, something that I thought I was good at, and something that I could make some money at.
That's the three. It's always the Trinity, right? It's
and
the three.
So growing up in a small town in Arkansas, I grew up in Dermont, Arkansas, and which my parents taught school there. We didn't have any relatives there, but I just had a passion for speech and delivery, and every opportunity I had, I would be, on a program at church and in a program at school. And for example, during Easter, I always wanted the longest Easter speech. I wanted a monologue. I'm thinking, I got an audience here in this small town at this church, and I'm gonna go with it. So, I always liked speech delivery and that kind of thing. So when I went to college, I explored what kind of careers that might, how I could use that to enter into a career that I would, love and be passionate about, and that kind of landed me in broadcast journalism. I worked in radio while I was in college at the college radio station, wrote for the college newspaper.
Wow.
So after college, I kind of landed in on TV.
Wow.
Even though my internship was not actually for a TV station, that was kind of happenstance for me.
Yeah.
And my first job was in Texarkana, Texas. I worked for a Shreveport, Louisiana station. And so Texarkana was a bureau, it was a pretty broad area. It's called the Arklatex. And so they had satellite stations in Texarkana. I believe it was one in Tyler, Texas. And then, of course, the main station was in Shreveport, Louisiana.
All right. Well, wonderful. That is a wonderful accomplishment. You have done well, but you knew early in life what you wanted to do. You just didn't know where you would land, but you knew, and you cultivated that skill, and you knew exactly what to do. This is amazing. So you're walking You're walking in your destiny, so to speak. Walking in. So tell us about your professional journey. You started telling us about where you started in college, in school, and you went on to Texarkana. But tell us about that professional journey.
Well, again, I graduated with a broadcast journalism degree from the University of Central Arkansas in Conway, Arkansas. And from there, my first job was at the Shreveport, Louisiana station. I worked at the Texarkana Bureau, and I was there for 3.5 years. And from there, I'm like, okay, I'm not making very much money, but I need to pay off these bills. So I looked for a place that I could, make more money and pay off my bills and start to live a little bit, right?
Live a little bit.
Tired of being at the poverty level. So I ended up here in Memphis because my parents by that time had moved from Arkansas to Memphis. And so I thought, well, it's a bigger TV station. So I stayed, came here to Memphis, stayed with my parents maybe 6 months and before I moved out on my own. And I have been here ever since. 31 years.
31 years in the business. That is wonderful. You look like you're about 12.
Well, and then you add on more than 31 years in the business, 31 years here at the one TV station. And that is not a common thing in this industry. In this industry, what you have is a lot of people that progress up the ladder by moving to different, we call it markets, different cities. You start in a small town, small city, and then you work your way up to the larger cities, and then you could decide maybe you want to be a national correspondent. And, and that was during the time when I entered the business, but now broadcast journalism, a degree in that can send you in so many different directions because, with the advent of the web, it's just so many other opportunities now other than just being on TV with that degree.
Okay, well, that is wonderful. 31 years at WREG. They are honored to have you. I am so sure. So now you have the journalism broadcasting background, but there's a fun fact about you. I want you to tell our audience about it.
Well, the fun fact is, I guess it would be that I'm a very creative person. I've always been a creative person, and I just love anything artsy and crafts. I mean, I had to go get my nails done yesterday because they were all chipped because I had spent like the last 2 weeks helping a friend of mine who is an awesome decorator and redo a part of my house. And so we've been gluing and pasting and I just enjoy that kind of thing. I think I'm in my happy place when I do that kind of thing. And I remember when I first took the weekend anchor job and I had 2 days off during the week, I said, what am I going to do with this time during the week? So I took a cake decorating class. So
wonderful.
I decorate cakes. I know how to decorate cakes. I don't do it often anymore, but that's just the kind of thing that I enjoy. This weekend I spent my weekend gold leafing things in the house.
Wow.
So that just drives me. That makes me happy. Making silk roses out of ribbon.
Listen, we're going to have to get together.
Got a YouTube video and I'm there.
What do you? You're going to have to share that with me because I can utilize some of those skills myself. So, broadcast journalism. Would you say that is an untraditional profession? How do you think about that? What do you take?
I think when I entered the business, 31 plus 3.5, 35 years ago almost, it maybe was an untraditional kind of career.
Okay.
But I just think there's so many other opportunities other than just being on TV and just being a reporter. And actually, it's a lot of jobs in careers in my building, not just on-air talent, but you have your producers, you have your whole entire web team. We have web reporters, we have web producers, we have photographers, videographers, we have editors, we have a sales team, we have a traffic department that keeps up with what goes on TV. So we have engineers. We've got so many jobs within broadcast journalism that maybe people may start on air, and then they'd say, "Oh, you know what? I'm really liking this sales thing or this
Yeah.
marketing thing. So, I'm going to stay in the industry, but I'm going to branch out and do other things." Or either they never are on air. They start maybe in college with a degree in broadcast journalism, pursuing that, and they said, "You know what? I really like the writing part."
Okay.
And so I don't think it's necessarily an untraditional career anymore.
All right.
Maybe it's not as common as maybe being not as many positions as being a teacher or a nurse, but I don't consider it a non-traditional career anymore.
Okay, so it's progressive.
I
It's
think so.
ongoing,
Right.
and it evolves. And it was and this was a question I was going to ask you. When you see the news anchor, when we see you on TV, we see you, oh, that's news, that's broadcast journalism. I am so glad that we're talking about the jobs that are behind the scenes, and just because you're not just the anchor, you can do these other things. So listen, people who are looking for careers, she named them. She said producer, reporter, writers, right? Sales, marketing, and I'm sure HR, right? And I'm sure
And
HR.
sure, we definitely have an HR administrator at WREG.
Okay.
At the corporate level, we have, of course, an entire HR team.
All right. All right. That's good to know. It's good to know. So when we see you on TV, I know there are particular skills that you must have in this industry. So can you kind of tell us what some of the core competencies or the qualities required in being in broadcast journalism?
Well, I think one of the reasons that I've been able to thrive and still enjoy my job every day is because I'm able to tap into my creative side.
That's
I'm
great.
creating something every day.
Okay.
I've got a new project,
Yes.
quote unquote, every day. Even though I'm going to the same place to deliver the news, to work on a report, it's still something new every day. And I think if you are a creative person, that's something that will drive you and keep you sustained in this business. I think you have to be, you have to have a level of objectivity because I think that's where people get journalism mixed up with entertainment.
Okay.
Some of these
All right.
shows that are on cable are entertainment. They are not journalists. These are entertainers that are before you. They're pundits,
Okay.
And so I don't necessarily consider them journalists. So
Okay.
I think to be an actual journalist, you have to have a level of objectivity. Now, do we all come to a particular place and spot, to a particular career, to a particular office with implicit biases? Of course we do, because we grow up differently.
Yes.
But I think being a journalist, you have to find a way to push what you believe and how you believe something should be to the side in
Yes.
order to give a voice to those who have something to say.
Yes.
And to counter that with somebody else who has a differing opinion.
Right.
So I think objectivity is another important core competency that you have to have.
Right. Valuing others and others' thoughts is so important in any industry, that you are inclusive and you bring those new ideas out to the forefront. So true. So those qualities are important. I wonder what type of training that you have to have. What are some of the formal training that you have to be in broadcast journalism?
Well, when we talked earlier before we started recording, and I was saying that not everyone actually has a degree in broadcast journalism. Sometimes
Okay.
they have degrees in other things, and
All right.
they just happened into the industry.
Yes.
Sometimes maybe they went to college and didn't finish. Now, these days, most people do have a college degree
Yes.
in this industry, but I think you asked me what you need to have. Okay, so
What is formal training?
formal training. So a
Okay.
college degree is part of the formal training that you need, because there's a lot of writing in what I do. I just
Okay.
don't go and sit at a desk and start spouting out words. That is written, it's a teleprompter.
Yeah.
And it's been written, it's been vetted,
Okay.
to make sure that we're not getting anyone sued. We're saying what's factual and accurate. So college is a good part of that. That's where you learn a lot of those skills.
Okay.
Okay. And also, there's also a lot of your professional industries and your professional agencies and organizations like the National Association of Black Journalists,
All right.
the RTNDAs. There are different organizations that you join in which you can, usually they're memberships, but there's a lot of training and a lot of workshops that you can attend in order to keep abreast of not only changes in the industry, but also to make you better and to help you hone your skills.
Yeah, you got to stay on top of the game, so to speak.
Right.
In
so
the
a lot of
industry.
that is done through those professional organizations, and also we have consultants who work with us.
All right.
A lot of the TV stations have their own privately hired consultants, and they come in and that's a part of the training. And they, we sit with them as a team, as an anchor team. We sit with them as an individual, and they just talk to us about how we can improve. They give us a good critique that maybe our news director could also do that, but when it comes from another place, then maybe there's some ideas about how to make your performance better on air. So consultants are also a big part of how we improve in our training.
Okay, wonderful. So continuous improvement is one of the, I guess, qualities or one of the things that happen in broadcast journalism. So when we see you on TV, we see you, we think you come in, sit down, start the news, that is all you do. But tell us, I'm sure there are other things that happen before you even get to the screen, television screen. What's a typical day in the life of a reporter?
Of a reporter?
Or our anchor.
Our anchors?
Yes.
Basically the same thing, because an anchor is a reporter. We're just reporting the news from the anchor desk.
Okay.
And most of us have done field reporting before, or we're doing that at the same time, or we do it on a different day, on a different day of the week. So we're considered reporters, all anchors. But a typical day is, let's say right now, I'm working the what we call the evening shift, the evening shows, because I anchor the 5 o'clock, the 6 o'clock, and the 10 o'clock news. And so every day about at 2:15, we have an editorial meeting. That is where we go around the room, and one of our managers talks about the stories that are going to be in our shows so far. We've had people in since 2 that morning. If you're working on the early show, like that airs at daybreak at 6, maybe they go on the air at 4:30, but the first producer gets there at 11:30 at night.
Okay.
But so we have a manager who goes around the room, talks about what's going to be on the 4 o'clock news and what the reporters who were there earlier worked on for the 5 o'clock and the 6 o'clock, and then we're there to produce the 10 o'clock news, basically, and as anchors to deliver the 4 and 5, the 4, 5, and 6. But so we talk about what's going on that we know of. What do you know of that's going on in the community? What's happening at City Hall today? What's happening with the Memphis Police Department, in Dyersburg, because it's not just Memphis that watches us. We have a broad base of viewers out in the Mid-South.
In the Mid-South as well.
So we go around the room. That whole editorial meeting probably takes about 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay.
Then the reporters make calls, to set up their stories. And then reporters and photographers begin to go out and interview people.
Okay.
And then while that's happening, the anchors are preparing to deliver the newscast. So we're going, the producers have been there. If you're a 5 o'clock producer for the 5 o'clock newscast, you probably came in at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock that day. So you have written a great deal of it. As an anchor, my job is to go through there and, each story that I'm delivering, and even those that I don't deliver, to look at the scripts and to rewrite them if I need to. And another set of eyes needs to hit this script before it hits the air, because remember we have to be factual. Not that the producer isn't factual, but two eyes are always better than one.
I always say we were talking about that.
Right. So, we go over the scripts that we're going to read, and then by that time, then we go, yes, we do. It is TV. We go into makeup, and that's about 30 minutes before the newscast. You go and you spruce up to get ready for the news. And then I'm on the air at 5 o'clock and do the 5 o'clock news. Between the 5 and the 6, we have that CBS Evening News is on at 5:30. And so we go to our desk, see if there's any new news that's been added to the 6 o'clock show, go back on the set at 6 to deliver 6 to 6:30. And then I can usually take a dinner break. But then after that, then I'm approving scripts, and helping reporters with their stories who have been out, and before letting another set of eyes hit those scripts. And then we're getting ready for the news again, by 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yeah. So it's ongoing. It's not just you walk in, start talking, right? It's an ongoing full day of activities to get to the show that you see on the news stations at the time, 6 o'clock news. That is great. So we know that high school students are starting to get out of school. High school students and college students. If someone was interested in pursuing a career in broadcast journalism, what courses should they be prepared to take?
Well, I like to think that someone who wants to be a reporter, maybe you don't know a lot about everything, but you're exposed to a little bit of everything.
Okay.
I enjoy sports, but do I know all the rules of basketball and all the, all the rules of football? No. But I can tell you that the Memphis Grizzlies in the first round of the playoffs are going to play the Lakers.
Yes.
So I try to be abreast of a whole lot of things. I try to read and reading and consuming information. That is a good way to stay abreast. So. Yes. I think if you're interested in going in journalism, let's say you're in high school, look at your civics courses. You need to know about government, how government works.
Yes.
You need your English. There's a lot of writing, literature, and a lot of things that you need to just have in your repertoire as things that you have read.
Yes.
So just try to make yourself as rounded as possible. And in college, I think the track is probably pretty laid out for at every school what you're going to take. But you're going to take your basic courses, and you're going to take a lot of technical courses in college, because at this point you don't really know if you're going to be in front of the camera or behind the camera. And you don't know what you want to gravitate to. Maybe you came to college thinking you wanted to be in front of the camera because it's what you saw. But when you got into it, I really like, working on the technical end of it. Right. And so be prepared to gravitate and to adjust by taking some of those, technical courses.
Okay. So the more you have in your wheelhouse, the better. And the diversity of your wheelhouse is going to make it much, much better for you. So here's my last question to you. What advice would you give someone who wants to enter into the field of broadcast journalism?
Well, I would say, like I said, be prepared. We just talked about the education part, to know a little bit about, or at least be interested in learning a little bit about a whole lot of things. Because you never know what you're going to be reporting on, whether it's geography. If I'm sitting at the news desk and something is happening in Arkansas, well, we're in Tennessee, but a lot of our viewers live in Eastern Arkansas. So we've got breaking news in Arkansas. I need to know how that Arkansas has the Crittenden County Quorum Court, and it's not a county commission. So just, you need to take those courses seriously. If you are younger and you've not quite decided if you want to be a broadcast journalist, look at your civics courses, your government courses, your history courses. And that will help prepare you for college.
Yes.
You know, and the career things that I learned in government in high school, I still use today because I know how they work.
Yes, you know how they work.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you.
But be prepared also.
Okay.
If you are thinking about being in this industry, be prepared to pivot because the industry has changed drastically since I first entered into it. You know,
in what way? How so?
With just the information, the consuming information and being able to have backgrounds about, you know, background information about different stories that I'm covering. You know, you just do a quick Google search, whereas before it took call after call after call.
Wow.
In order to, or days of research. You know, even going to the library, you don't even have to do. You don't have to do that anymore.
You have to do the system.
Right.
Yeah,
you know, going to the archives.
Yes.
You know. Newspapers are archived, you know, and so I've done stories where I've had to go to the Memphis room at the library and actually look through the archives and of old newspapers.
Yeah.
But a lot of that information now is online, so the information is faster, but you're expected because the information is easier to get. You're expected to be faster.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're going to be in this business and you want to, have kind of a long career in this business, be prepared to change and pivot.
All right.
And I think that's how I've stayed at Channel 3 and been in broadcast journalism so long, is because I've been able to adapt and change as the industry has adapted and changed.
Yeah. The willingness to change, the willingness to pivot when you need to keep up with the times. That's going to be one of the important keys in broadcast journalism. This is a career that rocks, and here's a representative of that career that rocks. Thank you so much, my friend, for coming on the show, and we're definitely gonna have you back. Careers that rock, broadcast journalism. And now we'll transition over to our HR Go-Getter for May 2023. The HR Go-Getter Spotlight for May 2023 is Christine Essery. She is with Transmedics, a biotechnology company that services the sciences and research in every community, and it is a global organization. Her job title is an employee and strategic development manager, and she's been in HR for 20 years. Areas of passion include talent management and leadership development. When asked why she loves the HR profession, she says, it's the people. She serves people in a way that is meaningful to them, and she loves being a strategic partner in the organization while putting people first. Congratulations, Christine Essery. You are the HR Go-Getter Spotlight for May 2023. Wow, we have learned so much about the career and profession of broadcast journalism on this episode today with the first guest of the Careers That Rock series, Stephanie Scurlock, WREG News anchor. Being informed and aware of the possibilities of careers that are available is paramount. HR professionals can be the resource to help educate and guide you to the career and the profession that rocks for you. Be sure to watch a new episode of Let's Talk HR with Dr. Deneen, the first of every month on the YouTube channel of the same name. Please note, you can watch this show and prior episodes at any time. Go to YouTube and type in the talk show title. Be sure to subscribe, no fee, and click on the notification bell. This is HR TV. I'm Dr. Deneen, and I want to talk HR with you. HR forever. See you next time.